thousand. People are just going to go, well, it's not far to the all-time highs. I want to get it before it gets to the all-time highs. And that momentum cycle starts. Because price is the driver of narrative, is the driver of volume, is everything in this space. So it's kind of come at a perfect time. And then let's say it goes quiet for a little bit. And then we get the Bitcoin halving noise, and then the crypto, the macro cycle, the rate cuts. That's all to come ahead of us.
Hey guys, welcome back to Everyday Finance. In this video, Raoul Pal discuss about Bitcoin. According to Raoul Pal, many may remark, well, why didn't Bitcoin go up more? It's fascinating that Raoul Pal was just using Bitwise's Hunter horsey. Many of the Bitcoin orders remember that several hedge funds purchased it at a discount and hedging, and it fell to zero today as a result of switching to an ETF. So there's a lot of selling of Bitcoin that was emerging from that. So as much as $1 billion in sales may have come from that. People were unwinding and withdrawing from those trades, which is why the market was more choppier. Instead of individuals stealing profits, it was people stealing profits from that specific trading and selling off a portion of GBTC so that it makes more sense for people such as, why didn't it occur? The ridiculous thing was how clear it was that the market was. Raoul adore how the market is doing well, and now we have the Bitcoin one, where he begins to perform astronomically well, and lots of things Raoul Pal discuss. So please watch the video to end, and share this video, and subscribe our channel, Everyday Finance. Thanks.
I think I used the phrase on Twitter, go rodeo. It's like he was so comical in everything that went on that, what's funny is the tradfi people must have been looking at this going, what on earth is this about? But all of us who've been in crypto for a while was like, this is perfect. It's a total shit show. Nobody knows what's going on. Everybody's laughing. Everybody's memeing the whole thing. It's like, for me, it was absolutely perfect. Because don't forget, tradfi's joining our world here. We're not joining theirs. They're joining ours. And it's our world, and we run it via memes. We run it with humor. We run it in all these ridiculous ways, and that's that. Today was their day, which was the launch of the products, which was huge volumes, and a lot of people will be wondering, well, why didn't Bitcoin go up more? And it's interesting. I was just on with Hunter Horsley from Bitwise, and I was speaking to Eric Balchinas earlier today. A lot of the GBTC orders, don't forget, a lot of hedge funds were buying it at a discount and hedging. And today it collapsed to zero because it went to an ETF. So there's a lot of selling of Bitcoin that was coming out of that. So there might have been $1 billion of selling that came out of that. So as people were unwinding that trade and taking it off. So that's why the market was a lot choppier. It's not really people taking profits. It's people taking profits from that particular trade and exiting some of GBTC. So that makes more sense of it for people. People are like, well, why didn't it happen? The laughable thing was how obvious it was that the market, I love the way the market goes, well, now we've got the Bitcoin one. Where's the ETH one? ETH starts wildly outperforming. It's like, again, hilarious. The market doesn't give it 1 second before moving on to the next thing with the typical crypto ADHD way of doing things, which is, this story's over now. Let's move on to the next one. Exactly what I expected, only because I lived through the late 90s in the IPO world, when IPOs really worked. For a long time recently, IPOs like the Coinbase one marked the top, stuff like that. But back then, when you've got a market that people were really engaged with, what would happen is there was the people who were the early stage investors. So we've had that in Bitcoin, and this is like their IPO. But all of these ETF companies have been selling this product in advance. So today you're going to see massive volumes, people taking trades off who were speculating on the ETF, all of this stuff. So the new volumes come in, people taking stuff off, so there's lots of churn.
According to Raoul Pal, what would occur is that those who were early stage investors would exist, and we've experienced that in their IPO, Bitcoin. But all of these ETF businesses have been offering this product in advance. Therefore, a significant number of people will be taking trades off today who were making speculations about all of these stuff on the ETF. So the new volumes arrive, individuals removing items, causing a lot of agitation, which eventually settles down. And after that, the process of thinking of how in the previous IPO era, when Yahoo launches or something, it's a new IPO, Google, or any other potential event would be the case initiates, followed by the investment then. Banks would assign their analysts to conduct the research after people post their recommendation. Things actually begin to happen. Let's back to the Raoul Pal interview.
And that then usually calms down. And then it's the process of, so if you think in the old IPO world when Yahoo comes out or something as the new IPO or Google or whatever, what would happen is, so it launches, then the investment banks would have their analysts do the research, then they put their buy recommendation, then it starts really happening. And so you'd often get a hot day one because people couldn't get into the IPOs. It would then calm down, correct quite a lot. And then there's this period because, look, regular people don't care what's just happened. It matters to us. It matters to these ETF providers for the customers they've got. But the average Joe investor or average Jane, they don't really care yet. But it'll filter down as they'll see more reports on it. Their investment advisor will tell them about it. And then before you know it, it starts building momentum. They see the price rising and they all come in. So that's my general mental model here. So I think that, volumes will slow down. Let's assume tomorrow is like 500 million, whatever it is, right? It's going to be a lot less. But I said this about a year ago. I said, well, the Bitcoin ETF all depends on where the Bitcoin price is when it launches. And I said, look, if it's about 50,000, I randomly chose that number and it's right there.
Yep.
And not because I'm a prophet or anything, but I was like, well, if it's around 50,000, people are just going to go, well, it's not far to the all-time highs. I want to get it before it gets to the all-time highs, and that momentum cycle starts. Because price is the driver of narrative, is the driver of volume, is everything in this space. So it's kind of come at a perfect time. And then let's say it goes quiet for a little bit, and then we get the Bitcoin halving noise, and then the crypto, the macro cycle, the rate cuts. That's all to come ahead of us. The liquidity cycle, all of that. So it could not have come at a better time. So I think the probability is it does better this year than people expect. So I think Eric and everybody else, their job is to be conservative. As I said, I just spoke to Hunter Horsley from Bitwise, just interviewed him. He was like, well, I don't really know, maybe it'll do 20 million. They think 55 million in 5 years. I think we'll do 50 million this year. 50 billion this
50
year.
billion. Okay.
Because of this kind of hype cycle of where we are in it. It's possible to be more. I mean, I don't see why not, but it just depends how this hype cycle plays out. Again, let's go to the other scenario, right? And say, what wouldn't surprise us by the end of this year? Could Bitcoin be at 100,000? Yeah, that seemed right for a normal bull market. So, okay, that's a 2.5x from here or 2x from here. It doesn't seem impossible, which is why I've also been talking about this could be quite a bit of a bubble cycle, whether it's front loaded, so it all happens in this year, or whether it really overextends like some of the prior cycles did. I think that's possible here, so we just have to wait and see. I ask you to not be yourself and be somebody else. Imagine you are in Indianapolis or Cincinnati, and you're a 58-year-old financial advisor who puts on a jacket, has dinner at the same steak restaurant with his clients. He's not on Twitter. He has no understanding. He might watch a bit of Fox News. He has no real understanding of what's happening. And so you're imposing yourself. So, well, how the hell don't you know? Twitter's been talking about this for 3 years, He doesn't even know what Twitter is. If he does, maybe he's following his sports team. So you've got to understand the mindset of what you're dealing with here. You're dealing with middle America on the whole, and it's the country club and the golf and the, they read the Wall Street Journal occasionally to try and pretend to their clients they know something. They watch Fox News. That's who we're dealing with. Now, what's interesting is Bitwise found that not only the stats that people didn't expect it, but 88% of people who were going to buy crypto were going to wait for the ETF to come. So they didn't expect it. It's now come. They now have to go to their clients. This is this lag I talked about. They have to go and have golf with their best clients and sit down and have that steak dinner and the bottle of expensive wine and say, you should be buying some Bitcoin. They don't go send out through some electronic platform. It's this. That's what we will see. And then they will get the incoming calls from their friends at the golf club who've heard it from their other friends that they're making money in this Bitcoining thing. Get me in. So
Raoul Pal said, well, the Bitcoin ETF all depends on where the Bitcoin price is when it launches. And if it's about 50,000, Raoul randomly chose that number and it's right there and not because Raoul Pal a prophet or anything, but Raoul was like, if it's around 50,000 people are just going to go, well, it's not far to the all-time highs. Raoul Pal want to get it before it gets to the all-time highs. And that momentum cycle starts because price is the driver of narrative, is the driver of volume, is everything in this space. So it's kind of come at a perfect time. And then let's say it goes quiet for a little bit. And then we get the Bitcoin herring noise. And then the crypto. Yeah, the macro cycle, the rate cuts. If you learned something from this video, then please like this video and subscribe our channel Everyday Finance. And we will meet in next video. Thanks.